Tonight is officially the Big Bang, guys. I got a major update for you guys, and it possibly isn't looking too swell if you ask me. And it all has to do with the charts. Why? Because this has never happened before, I believe. Okay? When I just look quickly through the chart of XRP, I don't think this has ever happened before, which is quite scary. First things first, let's talk about the beautiful part of XRP. The 3 monthly candle just closed a couple hours ago, 8 p.m. EST, guys. Okay, we seen the monthly candle closure, and as well we just seen the 3 monthly. The quarterly has just closed, which means Q4 has officially begun. Will this quarter bring excitement or grief? And one thing that I do pray is it will bring upon prosperity for all these assets and not death. The 3 monthly just closed, guys. Now it means the next time this candle closes, right, for the next one to appear, will take literally 90 days, 3 months. Okay, there's a countdown timer right here. 3 months, guys. So the previous so this was the candle closure, guys. Okay, and guess what? On the hike indices or the regular candles, it was the highest closure that XRP has ever done. Okay, on the 3 monthly candle, look where it closed. Okay, that was a previous closure, and that was all-time high. So this is most definitely fantastic news, guys. Amazing news if you ask me. That's literally the highest candle closure on XRP on the 3 monthly chart. So it's the first thing that. So this is the first time this has ever happened. And then on the RSI, we need to keep going, guys. But this would kind of scared me. It's the monthly chart. The monthly closure just happened as well, guys. And this is where it kind of frightened me. Okay? Because I don't think this has ever happened before. So I got shook. So I'm bringing this live for you guys to understand what's about to happen possibly. What do you guys notice on the RSI versus chart of XRP? The RSI, which is momentum, has always made a higher high. Okay, there never had been a bearish divergence, I don't think. Look at this. The peak of this peak compared to this one, the RSI was higher than this peak. There was no bearish divergence there, right? This peak was just explosive, no bearish divergence there. Okay, but something just happened and it got confirmed tonight. There's a peak here, guys, right? That's very high up, which the RSI matches that peak, right? Then the RSI cooled off a tiny bit since this whole year. Okay, same with price. And then price went higher than this pivot. Okay, but what did the RSI do? The RSI didn't go up at all, right? It's actually going down. But the price went above this peak. That's bad news bears, guys. That's what you call a bearish divergence, which has been confirmed today. And it's never happened on the top side of XRP. Okay, I don't think so. With all these peaks, look at all these peaks, never happened before. Maybe you could say that the one time this has happened was... Oh, I was going to say here, but it doesn't look like any bearish divergences. Wow. So yeah, never happened before, guys. This is the first time. This is unprecedented. And what does this mean? On the monthly time frame, we're seeing a bearish divergence literally right here form for XRP. Okay? Now, divergences are extreme, guys, especially on a higher time frame, such as the monthly. It's not a joke. Okay? There's nothing to play about. This means to me that this is a short-term top. Okay, for the coming months. Now, can we go higher to previous all-time highs? Yes. I'm not saying we can't. Ideally, I think we will pump this month, in the month of October, right? The charts, it's already October for the charts. So I think in the month of October, we will pump, but I don't think we'll go as high as everyone believes it to be, right? It may stop and come down because since the bearish divergence on the monthly time frame got confirmed for XRP, the indicator needs to cool off. Okay, it needs to cool off, when you see a bullish divergence play out. Okay, if it comes like this, RSI comes below this pivot, that's a bullish divergence, right, from here to here. Or what it could do as well is it cools off like this, right, RSI comes down like this, but the price holds above that level right there. That's another bullish divergence. Okay, there's hidden ones and regular ones, guys, but that's a scary sign, and there's nothing to play about this, guys. Okay, those are my thoughts. Never happened before, by the way. This is the first time ever. I wonder what happens to XRP's price. So I think in the month of October we'll pump, but there's going to be some type of catastrophic black swan news out of nowhere that'll pop out. Okay, maybe end of October, and I'm thinking it's the Japanese yen carry trade, which will bring the markets down for the indicators to cool off. Then when QE prints, it's go time, is what I think will happen. Never happened on XRP chart ever, guys. For Bitcoin it has, but for XRP it has never happened before. Interesting. On the daily for Bitcoin, not on the daily, I mean on the monthly for Bitcoin, what happened here? Well, the bearish divergence on the monthly has been confirmed as well. Okay, so these are all like top signals, guys, right? Topping signals. But the difference here is I don't think it's the actual top of the market. I think the markets will top when retail floods in, and we haven't seen that, and that will happen when QE goes on a crazy spree, right? So I think the markets are delayed to top out late 2026 actually, and people are sell too early. Imagine if Bitcoin were to dump right in the coming months, 2026, early 2026, because of a recession or all types of stuff. People are going to sell, right? Just keep selling. But little do they realize this thing will turn back up due to QE and go to heights never even thought possible, right? So this cycle, there's going to be a lot of trickery. So don't get tricked, guys, because a lot of people are going to sell this quarter thinking the bear market is coming. I think it's going to be a short-lived one if a bear market does arrive, but then we pump out of there. I think October will be bullish, but then some bad news will come later on, which will take everything down. And I'm not making this stuff up. It's not because of my emotions. I'm looking at the chart. Bearish signals are printing. So I think we need to cool off for a little bit until QE prints starts. That's when we will explode. So we got some news here, which I wanted to bring out, guys, because it's happening right now. Breaking: federal shutdown imminent. The bill keeping the government open can no longer get 60 votes, making passage impossible unless multiple Democrats flip. The Schumer shutdown is upon us. Okay. Look at that. So it seems like there is a shutdown happening by midnight. Okay, by the morning of today. The government shuts down 12:01 a.m. starting off with a big bang. Now, what does this mean for the markets? I think there's going to be a bunch of volatility the first week of October. President Trump on government shutdown. When you shut it down, we'll be laying off a lot of people, and they're going to be Democrats, right? Look what he says here about this shutdown that's happening.
What you're doing. Thank you very much, Lyndon. Okay, any questions, please?
Mr. President, as we inch closer to a government shutdown this morning, you said you might do a lot of layoffs. If DOGE is already reducing the federal workforce, why is it necessary to link more federal jobs cut to a shutdown?
Well, the Democrats want to shut it down, so when you shut it down, you have to do layoffs. So we'd be laying off a lot of people that are going to be very affected, and they're Democrats. They're going to be Democrats. As you know,
So with the shutdown that they didn't want to happen, I guess it's actually positive for this side of the group, right? Because they're going to be letting a lot of people that probably shouldn't even be there in the first place, is what he's saying.
This country, no country can afford to pay for illegal immigration, health care for everybody that comes into the country, and that's what they're insisting. And obviously I have an obligation to not accept that. That would affect everybody. You know, when I see what we're doing with AI and all the plants that are opening up in the country, $17 trillion is coming. And if you compare that to Biden, Biden had In 4 years, less than $1 trillion. We have 17 trillion, more than that. I think it's going to be much more than that, David. By the end of this year, I think it's going to be far over that. It's a record. It's already a record in 8 months. It's a record by a lot.
Nothing matters. I don't know why he keeps saying money's being poured into the American economy when literally they print out of nowhere. So this is all facade, guys, and lies. Okay, so never believe 100% what any politician says. Okay, always do your fact check and research, guys, because the money is pouring in from tariffs, probably, right? All these other major companies throughout the entire world are investing into America in itself, but what about the Fed that they're printing, right? So do we know what's happening here? Okay.
And so we're doing well as a country, so the last thing we want to do is shut it down. But a lot of good can come down from shutdowns. We can get rid of a lot of things that we didn't want, and they'd be Democrat things, but they want open borders. They want men playing in women's sports. They want transgender for everybody. They never stop. They don't learn. We won an election in a landslide. They just don't learn. So we have no choice. I have to do that for the country. Yes.
This is a whole show, guys. It definitely is. So yeah, it's gonna be happening, I guess, right? 94% chance. Everyone believes it will happen, guys, and it will happen tonight. So a bunch of crazy news. Never happened before. Bitcoin, a lot of bearish signals. XRP, definitely bearish signals for the first time in its history. Never happened. And I'm kind of scared. I think we just need to cool off a bit. Maybe give it 3 to 6 months, and then we'll blast off to new heights. I think October will be bullish, though. It's just my opinion. But some way, somehow, a black swan will just unexpectedly enter the scene. For now, let us see what happens in the coming days. Not financial advice. But it's so face amazing. See ya.